Okay, good evening dear students. My name is Srinivas. I am dealing biology subject. Today we are going to discuss about human digestive system. Human digestive system, the system which plays an important role in nutrition, by taking nutrition, by maintaining balanced diet and for giving us energy to do work. So this human digestive system is present in our body, but it is totally made up of with muscles. This digestive system starts with mouth and ends with anus. It will start with mouth and end with anus. But in this human digestive system, but what we are taking food daily, that is important. So let us see what kind of food items we are taking daily. Somebody will take leafy vegetables, somebody will take vegetables, somebody will take fruits, somebody will take dry fruits, and some organisms take food by depending on others. So that depends upon nutrition. Nutrition is nothing but intake of food. What is that? Nutrition is nothing but intake of food. Intake of food is called nutrition. But this nutrition is of two types. Once again, nutrition is of two types. They are, one is autotrophic nutrition, another one is heterotrophic nutrition. What is that? Heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition is nothing but the nutrition in which the food is prepared by their own. Who will prepare food by their own in the nature or in our surroundings? They are nothing but plants, the green plants. They are nothing but the green plants. Green plants are nothing but the organisms which prepare food by themselves. So that's why they comes under autotrophs, and such type of nutrition is called autotrophic nutrition. Already you learnt in lower classes. Not only green plants, trees also prepare their own food. How they are preparing their own food? How they are preparing their own food? How they are preparing their own food? By using raw materials like raw materials which are available in the nature. They are nothing but sunlight, water, air and soil, and the last one is carbon dioxide. By using these raw materials, plants prepare their own food during daytime by the process of photosynthesis. So up to now we discussed about autotrophs and autotrophic nutrition. Now let us study about heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition is nothing but heterotrophs. Heterotrophs means what? The organisms which depend on other organisms for their food. The organisms which depend on other organisms. The organisms which depend on other organisms for food and shelter also. What is meant by heterotrophic nutrition? Nothing but heterotrophs. The organisms which depend on other organisms for food and shelter are called as heterotrophs, and such type of nutrition is called heterotrophic nutrition. But heterotrophic nutrition examples we want to say now. We need to listen. That is, first one is animals, because they depend on others, they cannot prepare food by their own, that's why animals comes under heterotrophs. Number 2, birds. Number 3, insects. Number 4, amphibians. Number 5, reptiles. And 6th one is mammals. And another one is, last one is, 7th one is even fishes also. Fishes, dolphins, whales, sharks, okay, they depend on other organisms for their food, okay. Why they need food means to get energy. After getting energy to do work and to move from one place to another place, okay, and to survive or to live or to exist in their area, they need food. That's why they depend on other organisms for food. Up to now we discussed about autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. But what is nutrition? Intake of food is called nutrition. Nutrition is nothing but intake of food. Intake of food is called nutrition. But in our body, the nutrition plays an important role. In nutrition, we take different kinds of food items. But in nutrition, how many stages are there? In nutrition, how many stages are there? You have to know compulsory. Nutrition is related to digestion also. As human beings, we have a special organ system that is called human digestive system. It is well developed, but what about the lower organisms which don't have digestive system? What are they? Amoeba and paramecium. They are unicellular organisms. They are also called as single-celled organisms. Unicellular means single-celled organisms. These single-celled organisms, they don't have proper digestive system in their body, but how they take food and how they digest and how they excrete or send out the waste matter from their body. So nothing but amoeba. I am drawing amoeba picture. This is the diagram of amoeba, the single-celled organism. It takes food from outside, okay? It takes food from outside by the movement of this pseudopodia. Again, what is pseudopodia? Pseudopodia are nothing but the locomotory organs of amoeba, which helps in movement from one place to another place. So because of this movement of pseudopodia, the amoeba takes food inside by diffusion process like this. The food particles which enters into the amoeba by diffusion process forms like a food vacuole, like this vacuole. Understood? Food vacuole. This food vacuole forms inside amoeba, the single-celled organism. After it will digest in the cytoplasm, okay, and it will break down into smaller particles, right? After digestion, okay, the waste food will send out again by body surface only by diffusion process. By diffusion process. Similarly, same like amoeba, paramecium also. What is paramecium? The slipper shaped animalcule. The slipper shaped animalcule is called as paramecium. Okay, these are nothing but contractile vacuoles, and the paramecium is covered by hair-like projections called as cilia. This cilia will help in the movement of paramecium. Cilia is nothing but the locomotory organ of paramecium. So, how the paramecium will take food means by body surface only through diffusion process. By the movement of cilia, the paramecium takes food through its oral groove. Oral groove. The food particles when enters into the oral groove, slowly they comes inside. The food particles comes inside like this and forms like a food vacuole inside the body of paramecium. Again same like amoeba, paramecium body also, after some time it digests the food particles and sends out through anal pore. Anal pore. Anal pore. Okay, this is about amoeba and paramecium, the single celled organisms. They are also called as unicellular organisms. This is about unicellular organisms. Now, human digestive system is well developed in multicellular organisms like we, mammals, next animals, Pisces, nothing but fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and so on, etc. Now we are going to discuss about human digestive system. Human digestive system, as we are mammals, we are taking nutrition as heterotrophic nutrition, nothing but we are depending like animals on plants for food. Why? To get energy. So, I already told you about heterotrophic nutrition. In heterotrophic nutrition, we have 4 types again. They are: number 1, parasitic nutrition. Number 2, saprophytic nutrition. Number 3, holozoic nutrition. And last one is symbiotic nutrition. Parasitic nutrition, first one. Parasitic nutrition is nothing but the organisms which depend on other organisms for food and shelter are called as parasitic nutrition. For this example is, once again, parasitic nutrition means the organisms which depend on other organisms for food and shelter, they are called as, they comes under parasitic nutrition, or they are also called as parasites. What are parasites? Example, on our skin, leeches. Leeches, when they come on our skin, they suck our body with the help of suckers. What they are doing actually, they are sucking the blood. Okay na? Leeches. Next another thing is lice. These lice also suck the blood, mainly in our hair. Okay, so examples for parasite is leech and lice. In plants, the parasitic nutrition is seen in cuscuta. Cuscuta is a parasitic plant because cuscuta is a non-chlorophyllous plant which does not have chloroplast cell to prepare its food. Cuscuta is a plant only, but it is non-chlorophyllous plant. Cuscuta is a non-chlorophyllous plant because it does not have chlorophyll pigment in that, so that it cannot prepare food. That's why Cuscuta will climb on other plant for food. And how it takes food means with the help of a special roots called as Hastoria. What are that? Hastoria are the special roots present in Cuscuta. Okay, with the help of Hastoria special roots, the Cuscuta takes its food and climbs on other plant. Second one is saprophytic nutrition. Saprophytic nutrition means, as you know well, in the nature or in the environment, so much dead and decaying organic matter will be present. So this saprophytic nutrition means, example, mushroom. The best example for saprophytic nutrition is mushroom. Mushrooms are nothing but, the umbrella shaped structures. They grow on dead and decaying organic matter. So mushrooms, while they are growing on dead and decaying organic matter, they will take the important materials required for them to grow well, for their growth and development. So mushrooms comes under saprophytes. Another example is algae. Algae is a chlorophyllous plant only, but it grows on the spoiled matter, wet areas, moist places, on the walls, on the wet trees, on the wet wood, or on the wet rocks also. Okay na? So algae also comes under saprophytic nutrition. Next, the third one is holozoic nutrition. What do you mean by holozoic nutrition? The organisms which take the food as a whole into their body, is called as holozoic nutrition. Example, we only mammals. Again, what are mammals? The organisms which take the food as a whole, nothing but in the form of solid form. They take the food as a whole, are called as mammals. What are mammals again? Human beings and the animals which give birth directly to their young ones and feed with milk are called as mammals. Understood? Next, symbiotic nutrition. What do you mean by symbiotic nutrition? Symbiotic nutrition is nothing but the organisms which depend on each other for their food and shelter. Once again, the organisms which depend on food and shelter for their growth and development are called as symbiotic nutrition. Example, algae and lichens. Algae means, just now I told, it is also comes under saprophytic nutrition. Next, but it depends on the wet places and the rocky places or the muddy areas or on the walls Okay, but here algae and lichens are nothing but they depend on each other. They grow mostly on rocky places or on the hills or on the mountain regions. And the next one is rhizobium bacteria. Rhizobium bacteria. This rhizobium bacteria is present in the root nodules of Leguminaceae family. Okay, Leguminaceae family example, pea plant. The best example is pea plant. The rhizobium bacteria, okay, I am drawing now here. The rhizobium bacteria is present in the root nodules. These are called the root nodules, right? The rhizobium bacteria is present in Leguminaceae family like pea plant, groundnut plant, like that. So what it will do actually, rhizobium bacteria is also called as nitrogen fixing bacteria. This bacteria present in everywhere, air, water, land. So to bring nitrogen for this Leguminaceae plants like groundnut, it will go and bring from the atmosphere nitrogen for the plant growth. But what the plant is doing for this rhizobium bacteria, it is giving shelter in the root nodules. It is giving shelter in the root nodules. That's why rhizobium bacteria and Leguminaceae plants like groundnut, both are helping each other. They are cooperating each other. That's why such process is called as symbiosis. Understood? Symbiosis. And such type of nutrition is called symbiotic nutrition. Okay, na? So rhizobium bacteria is fixing nitrogen from the atmosphere into this root nodules of Leguminaceae plant, right? And these plants at the same time, they give shelter to rhizobium bacteria. Understood? So this is nothing but symbiosis, and such type of nutrition is called symbiotic nutrition. Once again, we will discuss about heterotrophic nutrition. One is parasitic nutrition, example leech and lice, cuscuta. Saprophytic nutrition, example mushroom and algae. Next, holozoic nutrition, mammals. And symbiotic nutrition is example is algae and lichens. Not only that, rhizobium bacteria and pea plant or groundnut plant. Now we are going to discuss about human digestive system. Why I taught up to now about the basic things, what you want to know is about nutrition first. Again, nutrition is divided into autotrophic and heterotrophic. Now we already discussed about the types. Now we are going to discuss about, study well about human digestive system. Okay, the human digestive system is well organized in our body. The human digestive system is well developed in our body, but of course it is made up of with muscles only. It is made up of with muscles only. But how after nutrition, how the digestion process will go on in our body? Because after digestion only in our body, for every cell and tissue, organs, muscles, whatever present in our body will get energy. Why? Because to do work. In the total universe, every organism need energy to do work. But how the energy is derived means after digestion process in our body. So let us see first how the digestive system is present in our body. I am drawing the digestive system of our human body. So this is nothing but mouth. I already told you, human digestive system starts with mouth and ends with anus. Now I drawn the mouth, next pharynx, next esophagus, the food pipe. The esophagus is connected with the stomach, understood? Next, the stomach slowly give rise to the small intestine, which is also called as the longest part of the digestive system is a small intestine. The small intestine is the largest part of the digestive system. Now I am drawing the large intestine. This is called as large intestine, whatever you are seeing now. Okay, na? And you can see this a small tube-like structure is called appendix. This is called as appendix. Of course, this part will not work. That's why it is functionless. Now I am connecting the small intestine with the large intestine. Just now I drawn, no? This is called appendix. Now, in human digestive system, the leaf-like structure which is present, okay, the leaf-like structure which is present is called as pancreas, and the bag-like structure which is present is called stomach. Next, opposite to the stomach, one umbrella shaped structure is present. It is called as liver. This liver only is called as the largest gland in the body. Understood? Okay, this is gallbladder. This is mouth. This is esophagus. And next, what is this? Large intestine. And what I told you, this is nothing but the small intestine. The bulged part at the end of the large intestine is rectum, and the external part is called as anus. I already told you the human digestive system starts with mouth and ends with anus. Now let us see how human digestive system will work. So I already told you, intake of food is called nutrition. Where we are taking food through mouth only, no? Then the food which goes inside the mouth Actually, in the mouth, we call as oral cavity or buccal cavity. In the mouth, 3 pairs of salivary glands are present. 3 pairs of salivary glands. One is below the tongue, one is below the tongue, this is tongue, and 2 are below the tongue and 1 is above the tongue. This above the tongue is called as parotid gland. Next, the 2 salivary glands which are present are sublingual glands and another one is submandibular. There are 3 pairs of salivary glands present in our mouth. They are, one is parotid glands which is above the tongue, and below the tongue are 2 glands. They are sublingual glands and submandibular glands. So there are 3 pairs. 3 pairs means what? 6. So this 6 salivary glands secrete what? Saliva. Saliva in the mouth. In one day, saliva secretion will be in the mouth nothing but 1 to 1.5 liters. 3 pairs of salivary glands secrete saliva in our mouth. In one day, 1 to 1.5 liters of saliva is present in our mouth. So the next thing, whenever we take the food inside the mouth, in the mouth already teeth and tongue is present. In teeth again 4 types of teeth are present. What are they? 4 types of teeth are present. They are, number 1, first one is incisors, second one is canines, third one is premolars, fourth one is molars. Already you know well, incisors helps in biting and cutting. Next, how many they are? They are 4 in number. In each jaw, 4 in number. Canines helps in tearing the flesh of meat, any animal. That is nothing but tearing the flesh means tearing chapati, puri also, any food item also. They are 2 in number. Next, premolars are nothing but they are present inside the mouth. They are blunt, but they are not sharp. They are 4 in number. Next, molars. Molars are present behind the premolars. They are 6 in number. Total how many we got? In one jaw, one side of the jaw, 4, 2, 4, 6. Same, in another jaw you have to take 4, 2, 4, 6. Total how much if we add? 16 by 16. So, in each jaw, 16 teeth are present. That's why total permanent teeth in our mouth is called nothing but 32 teeth are present. Now, let us see the functions of these 4 types of teeth. Incisors help in biting and cutting the food into pieces. Canines help in tearing the food into pieces. But premolars help in crushing the food and molars help in grinding the food. Along with the 4 types of teeth, tongue also plays an important role. The tongue is a muscular organ which is present in the mouth. This tongue helps in the movement of food from one side of the mouth to another side of the food, such that the food should be crushed and grinded. Understood? In the mouth, whatever the food which we take in the mouth is nothing but bolus. The solid food what we are taking, nothing but holozoic type of nutrition is present in our body in mammals. So the chewed food is called bolus. This chewed food slowly enters into the esophagus through a junction called pharynx. Pharynx is nothing but the part of the digestive system in which it is present between oral cavity and esophagus. Now, esophagus is a food pipe which is connected to upper end of pharynx and lower end of the stomach. Now, esophagus is also called food pipe. It is lined with mucous membrane such that the bolus which enters into it slowly moves into the stomach by showing wave-like movement. Wave-like movement means, see here, wave-like movement. This is called wave-like movement. This wave-like movement of bolus inside the esophagus is called peristaltic movement. What is that? Peristaltic movement. Peristaltic. Peristaltic movement means what? Wave-like movement. Okay, is it clear? Next, the bolus when it is reaching into the stomach. The bolus reached into the stomach. This is nothing but bolus. Actually, bolus is nothing but the mixture of saliva. In the saliva, one enzyme is present that is called as salivary amylase. Salivary amylase. Salivary amylase converts the bolus, nothing but the food which contains carbohydrates. In our food, what is present? In the rice or wheat, chapati, puri or bread, okay, carbohydrates are present. These carbohydrates are converted into sugars only with the help of salivary amylase. What is that? Salivary amylase. Now, carbohydrates are converted into sugars in the mouth only, nothing but partial digestion of food is completed. Now, next thing is the bolus which is converted into the solid form or partially digested food, nothing but slowly enters into the stomach. What is stomach here again? The stomach is nothing but a bag-like structure. A bag-like structure means which can store food for a longer time until the food should be broken into smaller particles. In the stomach, what is present? Gastric juice is present. What is that? Gastric juice is present. This gastric juice is secreted by the walls of the stomach. Where it is secreted? In the walls of the stomach, gastric juice is secreted. But what the gastric juice contains? It contains two substances, that is pepsin enzyme and HCl2. What pepsin enzyme will do? In our food, proteins also present, right? These proteins are converted into peptones with the help of pepsin enzyme. Afterwards, again I will show with the help of equations. Next, pepsin enzyme converts what, Nana? Proteins into peptones. Because when proteins are break down into smaller particles, then they help in bodybuilding. But what is the role of HCl in our body? The role of HCl in our stomach is nothing but it is used to kill the harmful bacteria which enters along with our food. Okay, na? Once again, the role of HCl is nothing but it kills the unwanted bacteria which enters in our food, okay, into the stomach. Now I told about pepsin enzyme, released by gastric juice. Next, the acid which is present in the gastric juice, nothing but hydrochloric acid. This hydrochloric acid not only kills unwanted bacteria, it can churn the bones like chicken bones or mutton bones also, which are broken down into pieces or which we chew along with our food. Now opposite to the stomach, liver is present. This liver is nothing but the largest gland in the body, which is in the form of umbrella shape, okay? But it will release in the liver, hepatic cells are present. What are they? Hepatic cells. These hepatic cells release a kind of juice that is nothing but bile juice. This bile juice does not have any enzyme, okay na? In the total digestive system, the bile juice does not have any enzyme. So, and a small bag-like structure is present in the liver that is called gallbladder. What is gallbladder actually? A small pouch-like structure in which the waste salts or urea, uric acid or wastewater is stored in that. But if you maintain proper balanced diet and if we drink plenty of water, then gallbladder will be safe. Otherwise, the salts become highly concentrated and they form like a crystal salts in our gallbladder and they look like a stones and we feel so much irritation or problem in the abdominal region, right? So that is about liver, and the study of liver is called hepatology. What is that? Hepatology. Next, after the stomach extends like a tube-like structure called as a duodenum. What is that? Duodenum. In the small intestine, we have three parts. They are duodenum, jejunum, and last one is ileum. Duodenum is the first part of the small intestine. Okay, na? This is duodenum. But the last part of the small intestine is ileum, and middle part of the small intestine is jejunum. Understood? So there are three parts in small intestine, right? But what about pancreas? The chewed food which enters into the stomach, okay, that is called as bolus. Bolus reacts with pepsin enzyme and hydrochloric acid, and it slowly changes into chyme. What is that? Chyme. Chewed food is called bolus, but semi-solid food is called chyme. This chyme secretes two enzymes, they are called as, hormones, they are called as secretin and cholecystokinin. The chyme, which is in the form of semi-solid form, secretes two hormones, they are called as secretin and cholecystokinin. Okay, next. After this, the chyme slowly enters into duodenum. What is duodenum again? The first part of the small intestine, right? When it is entering into the small intestine, from the pancreas, the leaf-like structure which is present in the digestive system is called pancreas. This pancreas secretes three enzymes. They are pepsin, trypsin, lipase, and last one is amylase. Okay, na? Here Pancreas contains three enzymes. They are trypsin, lipase, amylase. Amylase already you know, it converts carbohydrates into sugars. But lipase converts fats into fatty acids and glycerols. Next to trypsin also plays like pepsin. It converts proteins into peptones. Okay, na? Next, after the reaction with these three enzymes, slowly the chyme enters into small intestine. What I told small intestine means the longest part of the digestive system is called small intestine. This small intestine have number of folds. Okay, number of folds. It is a small cylindrical tube, but it will have number of folds. That's why it will appear like a zigzag position. Okay, na? This small intestine, the last part of small intestine is ileum, right? The chyme, when it is entering into the small intestine, already you know in the small intestine, okay, now I am drawing small intestine. In the small intestine, this is the shape of small intestine, right? And this is large intestine. All of you see properly. You can draw very easily human digestive system. Now I am drawing large intestine. This is appendix. This is large intestine. And what is this already you know? Small intestine. Right? This is nothing but the small intestine. I think you have seen this small intestine and large intestine in goat or sheep. During goddess in your house, any function, we have to donate one animal, nothing but goat or sheep to goddess. Okay. In the small intestine, the finger-like in the walls of the small intestine, the finger-like projections are present. They are only called as villi, like this. Okay, na? For small intestine. Numerous, countless villi. What are villi again? They are microscopic. Understand? In the walls of the small intestine, the microscopic structures are present. They are only called as villi. Singular is villus. What is the function of this villi or villus means? They are microscopic in nature. Okay. Now I am drawing villus also. Villi diagram. It will be like this, finger-like projection. These are blood vessels and blood capillaries which are connected to villi. Right? This is the diagram of villi. What is the function of villi? Villi, when the chyme is passing through the small intestine, the semi-solid food is called chyme. So when it is passing through the small intestine, these villi, the finger-like projections which are attached to the walls of the small intestine, they absorb the chyme into blood vessels. They absorb the chyme which are connected with blood vessels. Okay. Now this chyme the semi-solid food which is absorbed through villi enters into the blood vessels to each and every cell and to give energy, okay na? To give energy for each and every cell, right? To derive energy for their needs, for their growth and for their repair and development, okay na? So the digested food which is present in the mouth, which is partially digested in the mouth, which is completely digested in the stomach, and which is changed into chyme, the bolus which is changed into chyme by the action of different enzymes, okay, will come into small intestine and absorbed by villi, the finger like projections which are in the present in the walls of the small intestine. Now next thing is, what about the undigested food? The undigested food will enter into the large intestine along with waste water. The undigested food enters into the large intestine from small intestine, understood, along with waste water. Undigested food. Until the rectum, and the end point is anus. The end part is anus. The undigested food which is in yellowish color with waste water and waste salts or some quantity of urea or some quantity of uric acid which is excreted from the kidneys also will join in the large intestine only, okay. So in the large intestine what is present? Waste water, undigested food, next thing is waste salts and a small quantity of uric acid and urea or nitrogenous waste which are excreted from the kidneys also will comes along through small intestine to large intestine. So by the action of these muscles, slowly the undigested food enters into the large intestine through small intestine and stops at the rectum region. This is the rectum. In the rectum, anal sphincter muscles are present, okay, because of their contraction and expansion. The undigested food slowly comes out through the opening called as anus. I already told you, anus is nothing but the end part of the digestive system through which the fecal matter, nothing but undigested food, will comes out. Because undigested food should be sent out in proper time, otherwise the digestive system will become with more number of gases and we feel some constipation problem, right? So the fecal matter which is unwanted in our body, it should be sent out through anus. This process is also called as egestion, or it is also called defecation, okay na? So this is about human digestive system, and some important topics also we will discuss again. Tomorrow na? Dear children, tomorrow again we are going to discuss about the important topics related to our human digestive system. Okay, I hope